Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Brittany. So for today's video, I wanted to show you guys a quick and easy way to tint your lace. So before we get started, quick hair details on this wig. This wig is from Hairspells. It's their 13x4 lace frontal wig. Their highlighted wig in the texture deep wave, and the length is 22 inches. So I like everything about this wig. The only thing that I really had to do was tint to the lace. As you guys can see, the lace did not have any color to it at all. It did not match my skin tone, and it also wasn't transparent, but I was able to get it from this really light shade to this shade that just matched my skin tone perfectly. What I use to tint my lace is my Fenty Beauty Pro Filter foundation along with a sponge. I just put a little bit of that foundation onto that sponge and I start to buff it into the lace. So I'm just taking that sponge and buffing it in. One thing that I like about the foundation I'm using, the Fenty Beauty foundation, is that it's not super thick. So I've tried other liquid foundations to tint my lace and it makes the lace look very blotchy. It does not spread out evenly because of the consistency of that foundation. So with the Fenty Beauty foundation, it's super easy to spread out. You don't have to worry about the foundation blotches in your lace because the foundation is too thick. So that's why I always use my Fenty Beauty foundation. And the shade I used was 470. So this process only takes me about no more than 5 minutes. When I'm buffing this foundation into the lace, I try not to press it in too hard so that I don't get any of that foundation on the actual hairs of the frontal. When I'm done applying that foundation to the inside of the lace, then I apply some more of that foundation to the outside of the lace. So before I actually buff this foundation in, I spread it out on the sponge first, and that's when I start to buff it in. I spread it out on the sponge first before actually going in and applying that foundation to the lace so that I don't get a lot of that foundation on the hair. And then I use whatever I have left on the sponge and I just apply the rest of that foundation to the inside of the lace. So this is how the lace looks right now. It looks more transparent. You can't really tell on the mannequin head, but when I put it on, you can tell that it's literally just gonna melt into my skin. My cap was a little darker than my skin, so you can kind of see the cap where it starts, but once I lay my baby hairs and everything, you won't be able to see the cap. But as far as the color and everything, it already is starting to look much better than how it did in the beginning. I really love the color of this hair. It's colored so well. The highlights, everything, it just blends in so well with my skin tone. This wig is perfect for vacation, the spring, the summer. So I wanted to style this hair as I would if I was going on vacation. So I decided to do 2 braids on the top and just make this hair look very tropical. So I'm going to show you guys how I created this hairstyle. The first thing I do is take some alcohol and I remove all of my makeup in front of my cap, just to make sure I'm starting with a clean surface. So when I apply that lace glue, I don't have to worry about my lace lifting up. Then I go in with my Ghost Bond and I apply 1 thin layer and I take my rat tail comb to spread it out. I wait a few minutes for that glue to turn clear, and that's when I start to stick that lace in front of my hairline. So I'm just trying to make sure that that middle part is actually in the middle before I press that lace into that glue. I only use 1 layer of the lace glue because I don't keep my wigs on for that long. I use more than 1 layer if I'm going out of town or something, but if I'm just at home and I'm just going to be wearing this wig for a couple of days, I just use 1 layer so it'll be easier for me to take off. So because I only used 1 layer, I had to really press that lace into that glue. I do feel like I could have did a 2nd layer so that the lace would actually stick to the glue a little better, but it still worked out. So I just took my rat tail comb and I just used the comb to press that lace into the glue a little bit more. And to really make sure this lace is sticking to the glue, I take my scarf and I tie that lace down for a few minutes. This is how the lace looks, you guys. It looks so much better. It melts right into my skin. I was a little worried when I first saw this lace because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to tint it to match my skin, and I wasn't sure about how transparent it would look on me, but it literally just melts into my skin and I didn't really have to do much. All I did was apply that liquid foundation and I got it to look like this. Next thing I do is just cut off all of the extra lace. I do prefer to use mini scissors, but I couldn't find them, so that's why I'm using regular scissors. But I try to get as close to that hairline as possible. And yeah, just get rid of that extra lace in front of that hairline. When I'm done cutting off the extra lace, that's when I part some of the hairs away to create my baby hairs. I take a spoolie brush with a little bit of alcohol and I brush that spoolie brush through the hairs to get rid of any makeup I might have gotten in front of the hair when I was applying that liquid foundation. Then I take my scarf and I tie it down so that those baby hairs can go in the opposite direction. I would honestly say that the baby hairs take the longest to do because honestly, I don't know what I'm doing when I do my baby hairs. I just play around until I get the look that I want. The first thing I do is I cut the hairs shorter so that I can kind of sketch out how I want the baby hairs, and then I'll cut the hair some more. I decided to try out edge control instead of just using regular gel like I normally do. And I really liked how the edge control looked on the first day, but on the second day, that edge control was just clumped up in the baby hairs and I did not like it at all. So I think I might just try another edge control. I was gonna say I'm not using edge control anymore, but I think I'm just gonna try another brand of edge control because the edge control I use is the Cream of Nature one. And that edge control is really good on my natural hair, but on a wig, I just think it has too many oils and stuff. It'll just make your lace lift up. So the hairstyle I was going for was a cute updo. Originally I wanted to do more than 2 cornrows, but I didn't really have a lot of lace to work with on the side, so I decided to do 2 braids in the middle. It did take me a while to get my braid right, so it took me a couple of tries, but I was able to get the braid how I wanted it. And that's all what I do to style the hair. To get rid of any frizz, I go in with my water. First I spray down the hair, and then I use my favorite mousse, which is the Design Essentials Almond and Avocado Mousse. I use that on my hair as well. So I just apply those two products until my hair is defined and there's not a lot of frizz. But honestly, you guys, I really liked the hair before I sprayed it with water. I just liked how full it was. This hair is 130 density, which is pretty full, I would say. I don't like really full hair, but when I sprayed it down, it just did not look as full as I would have liked. But when it dried, it went back to normal. It just wasn't as frizzy. But I absolutely love the color of this hair. I think it just matches my skin tone so perfectly. The highlights and everything, this hair was colored really well. But that's the end of the video, you guys. If you guys have any questions, of course, feel free to leave them down in the comment section. And I will leave all of the hair details in my not my comment section, but in my description box as well. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, y'all.